Welcome to Being Confident from Within with Natalie Potts, the podcast that shares what it really takes to be confident. I'm passionate about helping people grow businesses with confidence. Does it seem like everyone around you is naturally confident and sure of themselves? Well, the chances are they have self-doubts just like you. I'm in conversations with inspiring individuals to share what confidence means to them and to help you find ways to believe in yourself and create confidence at any time. Dan, welcome to you, and thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. I'm going to really enjoy this conversation, I know. So
Thanks for having me.
A little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I specialize in running Facebook ads for different businesses, experts, speakers, authors, people who have a message to share with the world, lessons, value to give, to help people to change their lives. So yeah, we run Facebook ads to fill like events, webinars, challenges, and just to help get the right kind of people into an environment that the experts and speakers and authors, etc., can help them. So that's what we specialize in doing, and we help a number of well-known experts in the UK expert space to do that.
Amazing. And yeah, I know I see obviously lots of the work you do through the business mastermind that we're in. So it's great to connect through that. And thank you. I guess let's hit straight to the point. So what does confidence mean to you?
It's everything to me, really. When my confidence is high, I am on fire and I'm at my best. When my confidence is low, it's the absolute opposite. My potential, my everything is impacted. It's so critical to me. The analogy that I've literally only just thought of, it's kind of like filling a balloon with air. So like I'm the balloon and we're pumping air in, but it's constantly the thing I have with confidence is it's constantly dropping. I've got to keep it topped up. So like a balloon, the air slowly comes out over time. It's very much the same with me in confidence. But yeah, it's everything to me. When it's high, I'm at my best. When it's low, I'm not. And it's something I've always struggled with: low confidence, low self-esteem, social anxiety when I was younger. It's a constant battle to keep my confidence high, and it's better than it's ever been. But yeah, it's a constant battle. But it is absolutely transformational and powerful when it's good. Yeah.
Thank you, first of all, for being really vulnerable in sharing that, because it's really interesting. There's a few points within that I've kind of thought, actually, yeah, that resonates, or not necessarily directly myself, but definitely people around me as well. I guess I just was really interested as well as when I put this out there for people to connect with and be a part of, you were definitely aligned to this. What was kind of the thought process at the time for you in being a part of this, with confidence being so important to you?
Yeah, I just wanted to share my experiences, my challenges with confidence. I know I'm not alone in that, and if anyone can be helped and learn anything to just help stabilize and keep their confidence high, then yeah, that's so important. You can't put a price on confidence.
Yeah.
It's so critical. Yeah, you can't put a price on it. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges?
So the challenge I have definitely is keeping it high. I'm quite given the nature of work that I do, I'm very data driven, I'm very logical. But when it comes to confidence, I'm not. I could have 99 reasons for my confidence to be high, feeling really good about myself and getting great results for clients. But if one thing goes wrong, then that's all that is needed for it to just drop. So it's a constant challenge for me to keep it high, but also I don't want to end up where the confidence is so high that it's unrealistic, and I'm very boastful about it. I like to be modest and realistic, but yeah, it's a constant battle keeping that balloon filled with air, with confidence, because it's constantly draining out, and yeah, it's very easy for it to all disappear in a day and take weeks to come back. It's like it's a constant up and down.
Yeah.
That I constantly picture in my mind where my confidence is at.
Yeah.
It's very vulnerable and delicate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and you share, like you said, it's a great analogy, the balloon part of special visual learners. One thing that's really interesting in what you shared was around the idea of social anxiety. And I tell you where I said it resonates with myself in terms of someone else was a guy said it recently that he's been overcoming really, really intense social anxiety. And I looked at him a bit baffled because I was a bit like, really? Like, you definitely don't come across like that. And it's definitely not something I would have, if you're going to attach a label or say something about that person. I was like, that wouldn't be what I'd be sharing. It's really interesting. But it's how we can, I guess, be more understanding of people and not assumptive that they haven't, when it comes to confidence in things, in terms of, especially if you're working with people and wanting or leading people. If I go back to my previous career and look at how you get the best out of somebody, that can really hold them back. How could somebody, if you're sharing so kindly that you've had social anxiety, how can other people who are maybe really confident either pick up the signs or have a better understanding of how to kind of work with people and connect on with that?
So for me, at the peak of my social anxiety, I very much like became very, very defensive, very yeah, very, very isolated. So at the peak of my anxiety, it was at sixth form. So I'm having to go into lessons and seminars with groups of people, and it was so uncomfortable. I was very defensive, so constantly like closing my arms and just trying to keep myself to myself. That is a sign to keep an eye out for, definitely. And in terms of like dealing with people, it's probably hard to say. I think every person's different with how they deal with it. And I suppose a lot of people, and I do know this is the case with some people, definitely, their confidence is really low, but they may seem on the outside like it's really high, but it's
Mm,
just their defensive measure, their way of protecting themselves.
mm,
For me, it was very much the opposite. It was very obvious, but then people have mistaken it, and I know this is another common thing as well. They mistake things like anxiety and quietness and shyness for almost ignorance and arrogance. Like someone's not being open with you because they feel like they're too good for you. That's not the case. They feel the opposite. They don't feel worthy to even be in your presence. Um, that is something that resonates with the extreme times that I had with anxiety. So yeah, it is definitely difficult. So I think it's important to spot the opportunities to try and raise people's confidence and just give them compliments and just be nice and don't just assume that it's a defensive thing. Just try and understand, but equally it's easy for me to say that because I've been in those shoes, whilst other people it can seem like ignorance or arrogance. Yeah.
where has some of that kind of influence come from in you holding yourself back or not being as confident and self-esteem lower than where you would want it to be?
Um, where has it come from? That's yeah, it's I've always struggled to pinpoint like the origin and reasons behind it all. Um, is that what you mean? Like just like
Yeah,
the
because I don't see that. I see someone who's probably more reserved in character and probably more introverted than potentially I would be. As I'm actually a introverted extrovert, but like you say, there's a real quietness to your confidence. I don't think you're not confident, but it's just a quieter confidence in terms of what you're doing. You're a master of your craft. You're very supportive to people. You're happy to connect. You're happy to help people, and you're very. I guess that's the point, though, isn't it? Where you're confident and have knowledge, you can be that type of that person. So it's really interesting to see or to hear you talking away that something I don't see.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, my social anxiety is next to non-existent now.
Mm.
I'm definitely much better. Yeah, at the peak of it, I used to literally walk past somebody that I might know, and I'd spend the rest of that day thinking, what were they thinking of me? What were they
Yeah.
thinking negative things about my appearance or my reaction? Should I have done things differently? Like it literally took over my mind and so much time and energy, which meant that I wasn't maximizing my results in terms of like getting grades at sixth form and university. It
Yeah.
held me back in terms of starting my career. Yeah, it just held me back in every possible way. But yeah, it's definitely not the case now. There's still times and situations that are difficult, but
Mm.
yeah, I definitely don't let it take control of me. Yeah, it just sapped all the energy and life out of me at the peak of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's I kept asking kind of who do you know that has a type of confidence, but I think actually it's more like now it's a different way to word that be, is there somebody who has inspired you that has a kind of confidence that you think that would be spot on, what I'd love to have more of, and what is it about their qualities that they have?
Yeah, great question. So, for me, somebody that I love their confidence is Nick James, who is our
Yeah.
mutual mentor. But he's confident and he has a reason to be, but he doesn't take it too far. He accepts that he can be wrong sometimes. He has been wrong, and he's very open with his mistakes, as open as he is with his successes and his yeah, it's that quiet kind of confidence, which is a perfect balance for me. I don't want to be too confident, which is something I'm always cautious of being. I don't want to be too overly confident where I've got no reason to be. I want to be confident because I know I'm good at what I do, not
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons, if that makes sense. But yeah, Nick is a great example where he's got trust in what he says, but he's also is confident enough to say, you know, I've made mistakes, I've done this wrong, I've done that wrong. There's no shame in that, which is great to resonate as well. You don't want somebody who reckons that they're right every single time. That's just unrealistic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge part coming through in the conversations I'm having around the idea of vulnerability as well, and sharing that. And I think that brings it's just genuine, isn't it, in terms of then connecting with people.
Yeah. Definitely at the peak of my anxiety and low confidence, I wasn't willing to show any weaknesses and any downsides. Whilst now my confidence is that good that I'm happy to say, oh yeah, I've made these mistakes, I've done this wrong, I've done that wrong. But yeah, when you're feeling most vulnerable, well, I know when I was feeling most vulnerable, um, I'm and most anxious and least confident, I was less likely to. I didn't want to give people other ammunition to think negatively about me, which 99.9% of the time they weren't. It was just all in my head,
Mm.
completely unjustified and not logical. But yeah, it's yeah, but being open is definitely a lot easier when I'm more confident and less anxious.
Yeah.
Which is why I resonate with Nick's approach as well. That he's just as open with his mistakes as he is with his successes.
Yeah, it's really important. What areas of your life would you potentially like to build more confidence, if any?
It's mainly professionally. So like I run multiple marketing campaigns for clients in any single day, and the majority, like 95% of the time, they're all doing great. But if one out of like 10, 20 campaigns is not doing as I expected, then that impacts me more than all those that are doing this and guess. But the reality is there's so many external impacts that impact the success or failure of any campaign. So it's not logical for me to be like that. I shouldn't take it personally. But I
Yeah.
am big on like accountability and responsibility. But yeah, I'd love to have more stable confidence professionally, just so I wasn't so impacted by the occasional difficult campaign or some kind of issue, and just focus on all those reasons to have high confidence. Yeah, that is the most critical in terms of confidence in other areas of my life. Like personally, that is as best as it's ever been. Like
Brilliant.
I got married 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 2 months ago. It feels like 2 years in the best years in the best ways, to be honest. Yeah, it has been amazing. But like at the peak of my social anxiety, I couldn't even talk to somebody I couldn't even talk to somebody full stop. So
Yeah.
to then picture myself now about nearly 15 years ago from since sixth form, I actually met someone and actually settled down, married, got a house, all that kind of stuff just seemed like a lifetime away. So yeah, personally, it's much more stable. It's professionally where it's a constant battle. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess in addition to Nick James being a mentor, who has been your best mentor and why?
Yeah, so I have a coach who helps me weekly with every area of my life. So she's called Helen, and I've been working with her weekly for the past few years. And yeah, she's been amazing. She helps me just be more realistic about. She doesn't inflate me with hot air, unjustified confidence. She helps me see the reasons I have and it should be confident. So I come away every time I speak to her, I come away at my best. And then again, it inflates over the coming days and week until I speak to her again. So it's like it's like she gives me a confidence boost, and she's definitely helped and has been absolutely life changing. Like I couldn't imagine any future without her on my team and as my mentor and coach in every area of my life. She's been absolutely amazing. Yeah, couldn't do without her. But yeah, it's not that she's just telling me what I want to hear. She's helping me see. She's helping me see for myself why to be confident. She's not artificially making me confident. She's not giving me additional reasons. She's just helping me be more logical about it because I am usually a logical person. One thing that I'm not logical with has been confidence and anxiety. Because as I say, all the issues around that led to my anxiety, 99.9% of it was in my head.
Yeah.
There were some reasons like bullying and some negative impacts when I was younger that led to it initially, but the I can't forget my words out. The continuation, I still can't say it. Um, the the reason it kept going for so many months and years was not logical. There was no
Wow.
reason behind it. So yeah, she helps me see clearly through the mist that I suppose we all face in our mental health and life in general. Sometimes we need that second pair of eyes, that second opinion to really see something that's already there. And she's absolutely amazing at doing that.
Well, I hope you share that with her. It's amazing. It's lovely to hear, actually. And I obviously resonate with that because coaching and I see the power it has, and like yourself, that it's like I just couldn't not have it. And it doesn't always mean you've got to have it consistently, but for most of the time, it's like I do need that accountability, responsibility, someone challenging, but just getting everything that's out of my head out there and just seeing it and thinking, why am I overthinking this? And I am very confident, but even just some things where I'm not as, and to get my other personal coach for performance, and a lot of the questions he asks always, what are you resisting? And I'm like, oh. And I said to him at one point a couple of months back, I was like, I don't like it when it says what do you fear anymore? I was like, I don't like that word. And he goes, what would you prefer? And I said, well, for me, language is very powerful, and resistance holds so much more for me to really think about and unpack and explore actually what am I resisting. And I said, that's not meaning that I'm being difficult or procrastinating about that, or just not exploring what fear means to me, but it's just what sits best in terms of being proactive and to take me forward to understand, like you say, the narrative of what I have and actually what's absolute BS in my head versus actual real evidence. What evidence do you have for that is always really key.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting to hear you say about, like, being logical as well. And the reality is it's all emotional things as well, isn't it? No one teaches us this, or we don't understand, like kids at school, like I didn't have anything on how to be confident. It was actually school that, I think school very much does either or for you. And school for me was a moment of, I was never confident. That was always what came up on reports. And then suddenly drama teach came in, saw me do some, kind of good stuff. And he was like, completely empowered me. And you're great at this, you're great at that. And then I just flew with that side of things in the arts and loved it. And then you get great grades, and then that brings you energy. And you think, oh, I love this. This is me. And someone's seeing that potential in you that you sometimes don't see. And I think that's the same in business. And that's absolutely what I love with Nick and the team. Don't get me wrong. I always say, like, it's not you're going to join us and suddenly your woes and everything's just suddenly, all your challenges are gone. So you've got to make it work, because stuff like this, you have to heavily invest time, energy, effort, commitment, all of it. But when there's people around you that believe in you and trust you, and you you trust them, the world's your oyster, and it completely changes everything.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, the one thing, if I had to summarize what Helen does for me in like one sentence, it's she asks me questions, she makes me think about things that
Yeah.
were already there. It's just I wasn't considering it, I wasn't thinking it. So she's that different perspective, that different viewpoint. So she just helps me identify what's already there, which is just incredible. And just by asking questions, it just makes me think completely different perspectives and different ways. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think everyone should really have some kind of coach and mentor in their life. So I'm really grateful to have such an amazing one. But yeah, everyone really should in some way or another try and find some kind of coach and mentor, just someone to talk to and share and just get a second opinion and just ask those questions to make you think differently, to help you overcome not just in confidence but in any area of life. Absolutely essential as far as I'm concerned. Having one.
Yeah, I completely concur. I think it's been a game changer for me. And the times when I haven't, I've noticed my development has probably then gone adrift, and I've not been on track the way I wanted to, or like you get those limited beliefs kick in more, and then that doesn't help you at all. So yeah, I love what you've shared in there. It's so reflective, vulnerable, poignant. So thank you so much. How can people connect with you?
Yes, so if anyone ever wants any help with Facebook ads to get in front of their ideal audience, then they can come to our website, www.impactfulmarketing.co.uk, and yeah, we can see how we can help you to. Our slogan is we help you to make a greater impact on the world. We help those who have learnings and messaging just to get out there into the world and help other people. And that's not always easy in the modern age. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and I can endorse that. I know you're amazing what you do, and I know you'll be definitely on my pipeline at some point when I'm ready with the Facebook ads.
Okay.
Building my little empire. I have to remember to be like, I'm here, not there. I think that's always really key because people just try and do too much too soon at points, and you have to be patient.
Yeah, I've definitely got that issue. Absolutely, I'm always setting unrealistic targets, and then I get annoyed at myself for not achieving it. But then compared to where I was even 6 months ago, a year ago, it's still amazing. So it's
Yeah,
important to reflect back and not be too unrealistic. That's something I'm always trying to
Dan,
do.
thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to Being Confident from Within. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it inspired you in trusting no matter what happens in any particular situation, you'll be able to handle it and learn from the outcome. I really love hearing from you, so please leave a review and let me know which part of the episode resonated with you the most. Have an amazing day.